You know, this guy went and he got a new haircut today, and he thinks that he can come take over the show.
What do you mean? Like
As
cut my hair like twice a week, once a week?
You know how last week he started the show and he ended the show by saying I cut him off,
Yeah.
and even during the show
Oh.
or before the show, he put a post of me cutting him off.
Are we live?
Yeah. But can I say something before we start? I need a vent, Halbuni. I need a vent, and I've only got you to vent to.
I'm here since we did have a podcast about communication. I'm here to listen effectively.
Because the other guy is like SMSing on his phone.
No, my niece, I'm messaging
yeah,
her
yes.
on
All
good
right.
night on Google Hangouts.
All right,
Yeah,
good
I
night.
downloaded it from
Good night to your niece. Anyhow, last night he contacts me. I didn't contact him. He contacts me 10, 11 o'clock at night. How about we go for a walk 6:30 in the morning
Oh no!
before work? I'm like, then I thought about it. I'm like, you sure? Then I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Done. It's done. He sends me all these gifs, whatever you guys want to call them.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. You know that one?
He's showing you how excited he is.
So excited. I'm so excited. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I thought I'm gonna text this guy. I text him. Are you awake? He doesn't reply. I'm like, is this guy serious?
Look at the look of shame. He's looking in his eyes. Yeah. Okay. Then
If
what?
I contacted him, but all right, it's okay. I contacted him and he didn't show. He contacted me
Oh,
and he
no.
didn't show.
Look,
No, but
I'm all about taking responsibility for your own actions. But why didn't you call me?
Because by the time I figured out you're not awake, it was too late. I can't wait for you to come. Then I can't go to work.
Or I should have.
Or I'll be late to work.
I should have put a clause in there.
Yeah.
Call me when you wake up.
I'm not your alarm clock, Graham.
Look,
But you
yeah.
know what? He does have a point. You asked him, let's go for a walk.
but who said
but
you're
then
you're the mediator?
No, I'm not the mediator. I'm just based on my
What you've heard?
No, based on my common sense. If I invite someone to something, especially something early in the morning, like a morning walk,
He should be the call.
definitely, then I'd make sure that I'm calling Ayubi at 6:30 in the morning, telling him, "Hey, look, I'm awake. Are you okay to? Are you still okay to come?"
Look,
It's off my chest as long as
I'm happy.
Halbuni
he
How
was-
were you upset from him in the morning?
No, he can't get upset
for
with
2 seconds. I'm like, yeah, then I go, you know, this guy's cute. It's all right. I'll let it go. And I went for a walk anyway.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Why has he been walking this week 3 times so far? He's walked this week. Ask him
Okay.
why.
I'm not gonna ask
Apart
him.
from
He's just
that
gonna
rant.
answer because
Wait, apart from that rant, ask him how all of a sudden he's did 3 different walks.
Yeah, man, we've been hiking. You want to call it hiking? Bushwalking. We've been
Bushwick.
walking. Yeah.
Um,
All because of you, sir.
But yeah,
That's why I can't complain.
So
the third
that-
time I'm by myself, it's okay.
when we
So
are,
I have another question for both of you. Why is it that you guys have this walking relationship in the morning, and this is the first I hear
Oh
of
no,
it?
the morning was just we
It's-
were hopeful.
So first,
it's
you guys go to
it was in the afternoon.
you guys go to Avocado together. You have
oh, did you
you
see
have
that photo?
lunch.
That was delicious, man.
and then
yeah, and then
No,
I'm,
so
I'm
what-
looking
what-
at you straight into your eyes, and then go on.
Go on, Halbuni.
what? No, don't look at me.
He
Don't look
tried
at me
to
like
cut you
that.
off.
I just feel like
Don't,
you're.
see how nice I was. I stopped to see what he had to say.
No, I just feel
Anyway.
I just feel like you're a bit like
Hostile.
no envious that him and I this week have
No,
spent more
no,
time
no.
together
Not,
compared
not
to.
envious.
Nah,
the word
knowing
is
him,
curious.
it's not, yeah.
Just curious. Okay.
I meant curious.
so
sorry.
first, no, you didn't mean curious. You meant envious.
No, I know you don't envy
Because
anyone. I
I'm
just
not saying
meant
he's envied someone. He said the sensation, as in why you're trying to say
envy, it's just it can
He
be
felt
used as a
left-
figure of
look,
speech.
left out. Is that the word?
You had a rant. It's my time to rant.
What do you, I haven't even
he's still
finished.
ranting.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
He has a go. Then
Is
you,
this
then you
this like turn the tables on Mustafa Halbuni?
Let's flip the switch.
go. No, no, type go. Go on. Why have we been leaving
No,
you out of things?
no, I didn't say that
Okay,
because you
so-
don't. But I have a question. So first it was
Okay.
lunch together randomly. I know it
Yeah.
was spontaneous,
Hey, taste it.
and now it's morning
Oh,
walks.
Yeah.
And this
And-
is the podcast of the 3 short sticks. So
We've
are
been
we,
just-
are we moving on to a 2-man show?
no, 100% not. No chance of
Look at the excitement in Krame's face.
The reason why I'm excited is
More
because
airtime.
the reason why I'm excited
He'll
is
get
because
at least 25 minutes extra per show.
maybe this will finally get you going to joining us in becoming physically more active.
Oh wow, it's just free under the bus.
So either
He has a very
from
strenuous.
his statement,
Yeah.
he's either suggesting that I need to lose weight, or he's suggesting I care about your long-term health and I suggest you do some form of exercise
Yeah.
regularly to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Alright.
Which one is it?
It's neither. Oh, it's a latter one. So I care about your health.
Wow. Wow. So, and you,
Initially, it was like,
this podcast is going to be posted as is. There's no editing here.
Okay.
So you need to be very clear with what you say.
I am always clear with what I say.
Look at his tone, how it
And
changed.
I'll tell you why I'm talking.
I wish there was a video here.
I'm
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm talking like this, because we've had so much comments regarding the last 6 shows, and more particularly the last 3 shows. And having stumbled upon listeners this week collaboratively with Mustafa Halbuni, number 2, and myself. You don't know this. I'm breaking it to you now.
oh, it's news.
They accused me, which is fine. I
Yeah.
love constructive feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to hate, it's fine.
Were they having a go at him
Because you tune in.
Okay.
If you're going to hate, tune in
and then hate?
and hate.
Yeah.
And if you're tuning out, goodbye.
See you
But let's
later.
be honest. They did
No,
listen.
don't look to your left.
I just closed the door.
They did. Let's be
But-
honest. They did listen to numerous podcasts.
No. It's good.
What was
I'll
the-
tell you.
Take the point home,
I
please.
will.
Please,
Please take it.
please resend that meme in the group.
It's still there. I've saved it. And
I've got a meme ready in the wings.
All right.
I've saved it on my phone.
Say constructive criticism. These guys were having a go.
Yeah, this is what I
were
wanted
they
to
saying?
ask you both.
Go.
Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
they love the show.
Yeah.
One guy said my voice is soothing, thank you. The other group said that I didn't realize this. Apparently, I stutter and pause too much when I talk.
You
And
pause. Yes.
But they love it.
Stutter?
and the group also, they were saying that Krayim cuts me off too much.
Yeah, which was weird.
Oh, the group was saying that he cuts you off all
Yeah.
the time. You reckon it's weird?
I reckon that's weird.
I
But
reckon,
apparently,
I reckon it's something called true.
but apparently I pause too much. So guess what I told them?
But I think with the pausing, you started improving. Is that the word?
Proving. Oh, yeah.
You used to pause a lot. You did. So you'd say a sentence, then you'd pause.
Wow.
You'd be a good book
Look at
narrator.
his face when he's getting criticized.
I joined.
look at the sadness. Look,
he
No,
kills
no, no,
into
no,
the
no.
you're
ball.
draining
Into
the
the ball.
light away from him. Look at his turning around and giving his back to defend his insecurities.
No.
No,
First of
he's-
all, I
he's
have
cool.
no insecurities regarding these matters.
No, he's
Thank
cool.
God.
He's cool.
At all. This is what I told them, and you'll know how I have no insecurities.
No,
I told them.
we love you as you
Thank
are.
you, Barakallah. Well, I told them.
We'd love for you to improve, but we love you
I-
at the moment.
We
Well,
should
Ayoub
always
is really
improve,
throwing things at you.
because
No,
I ditched
said I love
him
as well.
this morning.
No, I'm over
That's-
it.
He ditched you.
There could have
See
been
how
a
he
chance
digs at
that
the
he was
hanging,
awake.
He ditched you.
I fell to the snooze button.
Anyhow, for closure, you need to give Halbuni closure as to why we were going out having
Oh, let me just
lunches and whatnot.
before this closure, because that's another
So
topic.
upset that you just cut him off.
I'm
That's
sorry.
another topic.
Apologies.
No need to apologize. I told them that on this show, it's a podcast
Yeah.
and there's no video either. So when I am telling a story or telling my perspective, I like to paint the full picture to the audience so they don't miss any detail and so
You
they
are
can live
very
vicariously through the story.
Live what? Please repeat.
So they can live vicariously through the story, through the picture.
Is that a word or just making things up? Halbuni?
I'll be honest. It's the first time.
you come across
Like,
such vocabulary.
I don't have. Well, I don't believe I have bad vocab.
No, you don't. You've got very good.
But
vocab.
I've never heard that word before in my life.
Okay. It can be used as an adverb and in a way that is experienced in the imagination through the actions of another person. So when I'm verbalizing the stories, I hope that the listeners are actually living vicariously through images in their heads
I get
and
you.
painting a picture
I
of
get you.
what we are saying.
Which I think we have to clarify because I think the majority of human beings nowadays don't use them words. So if you just go ahead and dump a word on like this of
No.
this
It's a common word, this word.
vicariously,
Yeah.
Wait. Stop.
Are they?
Madzida, it's a common word.
Common word.
Madzida, all right.
Our English listeners
Our-
won't know what Madzida means.
Don't overdo it.
Okay. And the other point before we get right into it, can you get into it tonight? We are. I'm telling you.
Right into
I
it.
feel it.
You know, can we start?
No, we can't start. Wait.
Oh, Go.
Us being together this week more than
Oh,
usual.
the closure, you mean?
You and
You're
I,
giving
yeah.
Halbuni closure.
Wow.
Us
Wow.
being together more,
Yeah.
maybe he should give us more time.
Honestly,
He's very busy.
I've been enjoying Krames. So basically,
Wow.
during work hours.
I don't know how to take this.
No. I'm bringing it home. I'm not like him. I won't take 10
Hey,
minutes. All right.
I bring it home.
Very quickly, within the next minute, I'll clarify. For the past week.
Take it home. Take it home.
I'm trying to
Oh,
keep
he's
coming,
been,
kind
he's
of
been really waiting to give you
I
that one.
know. For the past week, I've been having an hour or so break from work, so my lunch break, and I'm going training with him. And after training, we might have lunch, and then I go back off to work. As for Halbuni, he's all over the shop this week. All over the shop. So we tried getting you on.
I don't remember any invitations.
We spoke like
No,
we were
no,
on the phone with you every
he
time.
expects us to live in accordance to his lifestyle. And I'll give you one example.
Yeah.
He's 1 hour away,
Yeah,
and
we-
he knows we're having
We
lunch.
have to have lunch where he's.
We have to have lunch where he is, or why don't you wait for me? I'm on my way. Oh, okay, yeah, wait for you. How long do you need? 45 minutes to an hour? I'll be there, I promise.
You know what? I've got to promise our listeners something. The next time you two are talking together on the phone, I have to record a snippet.
Wow.
It's the funniest conversation someone
It's
can
not.
hear.
I'm pretty sure it's very similar to what they hear on the
I
podcast.
also want to give our
It's a
listeners
bit drier.
closure as well.
Wait.
Some of our listeners, I want to give them closure. This guy over here on my right,
It's Halbuni.
yeah, and I love you as well.
Yeah.
But
thanks.
just for the back,
He's coming.
for the backstory,
It's coming. It's a low blow.
I've spent over 1,500 hours in communication with this guy.
Community
1,500
service.
1,500 hours. I'm talking about hours upon hours upon hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes we say things to one another. The listeners might feel like that we're treading on each other's toes, or we're
No,
purposely.
but it's friendly fire.
This is our friendship,
Yeah.
and we aren't overdoing it.
It's
and
not
we,
that
and we
that's our
don't-
friendship.
and
It's
we
just that
don't-
we've known each other for so long, and going
It's
through
not
things.
offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not
It's
an
not
issue.
taken to like as offensive.
Yeah, and we don't one up one another and feel like that. Oh, I've given it to you. You're going to give me.
No, it's not. It's not like that. That's not how the show is.
But
We have fun. That's about it.
So
We're
I
having
I
fun.
just did some calculations,
Yeah.
and his 1,500 hours is a smaller figure.
What? How
So
many days?
That's only just under 2 years.
talking about 50,000 hours. 50,000 hours. Thousands of thousands of thousands. How
Yeah.
about PS5 coming out?
I know.
Or they deferred it because of the
They-
COVID-19.
What's it worth now?
Probably 850.
And the new Xbox is coming out too.
Oh, I don't care about Xbox, to be honest with you. I'm more a PS5 4 guy.
You know, since we're on the topic of these high scaling technologies and game consoles and whatnot, and before we get into the fight of PlayStation versus Xbox,
I just wanted to know, is it Xbox or PS5? Because when I said the Xbox is trash, he just nodded.
No, man.
Are
Can't
you
say
Xbox?
Xbox is trash.
Oh no!
I think this day and age, I don't know, but I think the figures are leaning
wanna-
towards
you wanna
Xbox
laugh?
No
more.
way.
There was
I believe so.
You know how there's riots now in America.
Yeah,
There was a meme going on around Facebook,
yeah.
and they had a photo of a store, like a game store, and they had, you know how game stores are divided. There's a PS4 side
Yeah.
with all the PS4 games, it's blue,
Yeah.
and the Xbox side with all the Xbox games and accessories and everything, it's all green. Yeah, the PS4 side, it's all gone. It's been taken away. And the Xbox side is left as is.
You know what?
And then someone said, "This proves everything.
I've gotta give it
PlayStation
to
is
them.
better than Xbox."
I just checked the sales. You're right. PS4, sorry, 106.99 million units. How do you do 0.99? They sold
they roughly-
3/4 of a unit.
They probably forgot a remote or something.
Yeah, and the Xbox is less than half, man. 46 million. 0.36.
But
46.36 million.
think about it
Wow.
like this, yeah? We're living in a time
Yeah.
of technology
Yeah.
and the time of where technology has become so accessible.
Uh-huh.
And now, when you play a PlayStation,
Yeah.
there's something called cross-platform where you can verse
Yeah. People from phones.
from phones, PC, or
yeah.
Xbox.
I remember asking about that amongst each other when we were only 12 or
Yeah.
13 years
And
old,
you
saying,
couldn't.
why couldn't we? What's so hard about it?
When we were 12 or 13 years old, when someone would
gaming
call the
on-
home phone,
on the LAN.
my internet would cut off and my game would cut off.
Yeah, dial up. Yeah, so it's, if you're gaming, you have to tell your mum, please don't use the phone. And then your mum looking at you like you're the biggest idiot. Like,
Yeah.
What about this?
yeah,
Because we lived through, you know, we lived through the spur of the late 90s and the early
I'm an 89.
2000s.
I'm an 80s kid.
No, but I'm saying the
Yeah.
spur. So
Yeah. I was late
by the
80s,
time
yeah.
you became aware
Yeah.
of certain technologies and certain devices, it had to be in the late 90s
That's
or mid
right.
to
Yeah,
late
yeah,
90s
yeah.
for us. That is, how fast did technology develop? Like, if you look
Oh,
at the
wow.
kids now, for example, they're just the latest generation, not Generation
Little
Alpha, just the one
toddlers, man.
before it, Generation Z.
Oh, yeah.
They've never seen a videotape.
No, man, the newer generation that's coming up now, they haven't seen it. They don't even know what
They
a
don't
CD
know what a
is.
VCR is.
Yeah.
I don't think they know what Blu-ray is.
Yeah, CDs, Blu-rays. They may see them in games. That's about it.
No, they know, but they were not around during the transition
No.
where we went from normal CDs to Blu-ray DVDs and Blu-ray games.
We were
Yeah.
at a time where Blockbuster was the number one place to buy CDs from and
Oh,
hire games.
wow, look at that. How about
Now there's only one left in Australia.
how about
Is
the
there a
sad,
Blockbuster left?
There's one, yeah. It's
how about the sad reality when the Blockbuster or Easy Movies closed in your area?
yeah.
And the Friday nights were changed.
Oh,
and the
no.
Saturday
Do you
nights were-
know? I used to ride on my bike and take my CD to Blockbuster, so they can clean the CD
Yeah.
because it was full of scratches.
Oh, yeah, they
And
did
ride
that
my
service.
and ride my bike back home and load it, and I was so excited. And the graphics were disgusting compared to now, but it meant so much.
Yes, it did.
How about this?
And remember, they used to sell the Blockbuster. Used to sell the popcorn packets.
Oh,
You used to
Man,
go
they used
rent
to
a
make-
movie,
they- yeah.
and get yourself a couple of popcorn packets. It's like you're going to the
that
cinema.
was awesome. And the awesome thing about the Blockbuster was they also had games that you could rent.
Yeah, they had everything.
And so they had such a wide. It's just different now. It's different. You
Yeah.
don't find, there's no, even now, for example, kids, they wouldn't understand, or teens, they wouldn't understand the luxury of being able to rent a game that you just want to try
Well, now I have
before
my,
you purchase it.
I have my
When you
4-year-old.
think about it,
Like what you said, I have my 4-year-old nephew randomly on my PlayStation without me knowing, and he spent $15 buying a upgrade to some crap game.
Yeah, man.
look, that's crap in your opinion.
No, no,
Maybe in
no,
his
no.
opinion, he
He
enjoys
didn't even
it.
know he bought it. He just
Oh no,
pressed
that's
X
even worse.
on upgrading. He
Man.
knows how to play the game.
What about, listen to this, how nostalgic this is going to make you. When we were children and we used to watch our favorite shows, and like your brother or sister. So I saw this as a meme and I remembered it. I'm like, oh man, that was so us. So let's say ad breaks kicks in, you run off to the fridge,
Oh,
and then your sister or brother in the background, oh, it's back.
or you had to use that 1 minute to go to the bathroom.
And you're stumbling over furniture.
Man,
Go to war.
how about this?
Now it sucks. Now it's
When-
like Netflix. They watch
Now,
it. And
how
they pause
how
it.
accessible is it?
It's-
I'm going
it's
to
not-
binge for 12 hours watching
Oh,
my
come
favorite
on.
show.
What about using a pen or pencil to rewind the cassette?
Oh man! And flipping it side
Or
A and
flipping
side
it-
B.
Oh, for the difference, for the different.
What about the transition from VCR to CD, and everybody started using the technology where they take
Copy
they copied the footage on VCR onto CD.
And we had to do it for our parents.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Can you
annoying.
get me that machine?
That was so annoying.
Yeah.
What about this?
Yeah.
When you had a VCR in there watching a movie, and the movie starts to go blurry and start cutting out, so you have to take out the VCR,
And-
undo the back, clean the film.
Wow.
Do you
And
remember
some
that?
people were blowing it too.
And blur clean the film, blow on it, clean it, make sure all the dust is there, and put it back in. And if you found it tangled, you're stuffed
Oh,
because
it's gone, skis.
it's gone.
I'll tell you, one of the number one sellers in my time was 007.
Can I say
What's the
your time is the same as our time?
Yeah, I know.
That
What do you mean 007? The
007
Can
on?
GoldenEye on the
Can you
Nintendo
search it
64.
because
The
I want to
movie?
check.
It was a
fact in.
game. It
Ah,
was the
007
COD
game.
of that time.
Check.
007 GoldenEye.
How many sales? Was it the most sales?
It was the-
game
it was-
that got sold the most.
The COD of that time. You had 1v1s.
What about this?
All right, here's the things. He goes, overall, GoldenEye 007 sold more than 8 million units worldwide back then,
Okay,
making it the third best-selling Nintendo 64
that's very
game.
close.
Nintendo
Oh,
64.
Nintendo 64.
That's
wow.
real back, man.
That was my
97.
Wow.
I was a Nintendo 64 man,
I remember
not a PS1.
when the first time the Nintendo 64 came out, and my father had purchased it for me. We thought that was it. You can't get better than Nintendo.
But go back before that, before the
Oh,
Sega
you
Mega
had-
Drive.
Oh, the Sega Mega Drive.
Remember that?
What about the Atari?
Oh man,
Did your
and
grandpa,
shooting ducks.
Oh,
did your grandpas buy you the keyboard that you connect to the TV?
Our grandpas.
Yeah, like
Because what a grandpa
What
you had.
did you say?
my grandpa when he came from Lebanon.
Oh, he got you that keyboard and that mouse
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has 200 games.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Got the
2000
inbuilt
games.
games. Oh, and you had to play the shoot the balloon game. Do you remember that one? Or the wolf? You know the wolf one?
Yeah. And me and my sister would fight over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so
What
annoying.
do you mean? My grandpa, he came the first time when I was older in from Lebanon in 2004. You know what he did? He was sick of us using the TV. He went and bought a TV and put it in the garage.
Oh,
He
so
said,
for
"Go."
himself.
Go, no, for us.
Oh, go
And he
games
said,
there.
that's how it's done. Everybody go to the garage. And we fought back and forth.
We're talking
over
about
that
TVs. I'm going to take you back.
Yeah, take it.
Because when you hear TV, you're still thinking of our
Yeah.
our flat screens.
Oh, no, that weighed 500
go back
kilos.
go back to the brick
Yeah. It
that
wasn't
we
a
used to
brick.
think was amazing.
It was a massive shoebox.
Yeah. It was a brick.
Remember that? And the reception was so bad.
And
And who touched the remote control?
What about the
you
antenna?
weren't allowed to-
Where was the remote
and
control?
they were so expensive.
What about the antenna?
Yeah, you had to. And if you got close to it, or if you sat in a certain way,
I just got goosebumps.
Did you?
I still remember at that time I used to think and say, imagine one day I can sit on my couch and control my TV from my phone. Next thing you know, I've graduated from school and I've downloaded an app and I'm
Man,
changing channels from my phone.
When I was a kid, once my dad was at work, finished school, came back home, I found the remote. I'm like, oh, nice remote control. Sat there on the couch like an adult, flicking through the remote. Then I dropped it and I broke the remote control.
Oh no!
What did I do? I went, got super glue, and I super glued it. See, you can tell a kid botched up this remote control. My dad gets home. He goes, "Who touched the remote control?" I just went quiet. He goes, "Is it you?" He goes, "Don't lie to me." I go, "Man." He goes, "Don't lie to me." Then I lied. I was a kid. Yeah, I couldn't admit to it. Yeah, I copped the biggest smack.
Oh no!
Not for the remote control, for the lying.
my story is that when that thing first happened where you can download an app to control your TV, I'd go on the side
Such a
of
smart ass.
my room, the side of the room, and my parents are watching and whatever, they're all watching.
And just get to him.
No, and I just turn it off. They look at each other, everyone looks at each other. They turn it on from the remote. I change the channel. Next thing you know, there's a bit of a scuffle.
Who's touching it?
Why are you changing the channel for? I'm not changing the channel. Why are you changing the channel for? Then I turned it off one more time. And they, because it was new, then they thought the TV was wrecked.
I'm gonna take it back even one step further. What about in the classroom? That one kid that had the Casio watch that can control the TV,
I don't remember that.
and he would drive the teacher crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And how would we watch TV or a movie or anything? The teacher would have to drag the TV,
Yeah.
the
Projector.
TV into
Yeah,
the
the
room.
TV, yeah.
Not a projector anymore, just a
But a
TV.
TV, yeah.
Now they have the smart units, you know, the smart
They used
boards.
to have that unit. It's like a little tall unit with a VCR. and
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
do you
that's right,
remember?
that's
Or a
right.
DVD player,
Yeah.
because we were through that time where you had to use
Yeah.
both.
Both. I remember in primary through high
And
school.
we used to get so excited hearing that TV roll down the hallway.
that meant
Yeah, it's a
But now,
one period off.
now you walk into a classroom, there's a smart board, you can load Netflix straight up off the
Man,
smart board.
I think that this generation's missed out.
How
and then
about
that's-
when you accidentally recorded over a VCR tape that you shouldn't have?
I was never into the recording.
Yeah.
Nah.
But it's not you. Your parents asked you to record something for them.
And what about if they put a movie on? You'd never recorded the movie straight off live TV. Are you serious?
Never.
Ah.
I don't. Maybe my siblings can beg to differ, but I never.
If they are listening, we urge you to
Yeah.
But-
clarify this for us.
What about how you went from Nintendo 64
Yeah.
and then you had Nintendo vs PS1, then Xbox came out with PS2, and PS2 was the thing.
Yeah.
Then when PS3 came out, it was like, wow, PS3. And then when PS4 came out, can you imagine that now there's PS5? Look at the difference in graphics.
The hype is not as big. Because back then it was a massive leap to go from
That's a good
Nintendo
point
to
that
PS1.
you said. Do you think
they're not as excited?
do you think the hype is not as big because things are so
Maybe I'll be honest. I think the hype is not as big for you.
No, but can you imagine? Like, let's take it to a different, another example. We lived through the age of Walkman, so you'd walk around with like
Wow.
a stack of 10 CDs in your backpack
Oh
going to
man,
school.
do you remember that?
Yeah. Then when they changed from Walkman, that thing that had
To
CDs
iPods.
to iPods that can hold 1,000 songs.
What about that circle, that square thing?
That's an iPod.
iPod, man.
Wasn't it called something else?
It had obviously it had a
They
had a
different
more
brands. They had
specific name.
Walkmans,
Yeah, yeah.
iPod. But anyhow, so you went from the CD player that you carry. That was a massive leap. So everyone was shocked. So everyone was happy. It was like, oh, you're going from 10 songs or 7 songs, whatever the CD fee,
Yeah.
to 1,000 songs and one battery that lasts a week. Wow, are you serious? Yeah, there's no comparison. But now you're going from PS4, which can play like 4K gaming,
Oh yeah.
to PS5 that can also do 4K gaming just a bit better.
But
I'm not
I
down,
understand,
yeah.
but regardless, the PS5 will sell more units than the PS4.
Because the marketing strategies, man. The
Even
marketing.
look, I haven't played PlayStation in a very long time,
Me too.
and even I want to buy a PlayStation
No, I
5
know.
when it comes
They've
out.
hyped it up.
Remember the iPad Nano?
What about the iPod Shuffle?
I think iPod Nano.
iPod Nano, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the
I
iPod
had
Shuffle?
one.
Yeah. I didn't have neither.
I had
No,
the
you did have an iPod.
No.
I remember in school you did.
I
He had a blue
Nano
one,
and a shuffle.
and he thought he was.
Oh, that
King.
was towards the end of year 12.
Well, so you still had one. Thank you very
I
much.
did. Yeah, but
He
someone
had one, and he thought he was.
He's the king of the school
Yeah,
with his
he-
iPod.
You don't have an iPod?
Who are you?
You don't have an iPod? Are you serious?
Don't talk to me.
No, because him and I used to compete about who has what. That's why.
And you had the iPod.
And he had the iPod.
And can I tell you what he had?
What did he have?
He had the newest desktop at home. The newest desktop in his room.
How's that compared?
It's not really a comparison. Like I would prefer an iPod at that age.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't have the iPod Nano. I had
didn't say Nano.
Yeah,
I
did
said
have
iPod.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about iPod Nano. I had the iPod. Yeah,
Oh, the original
I did
iPod.
The blue one.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't
Do you
think
know
I
why?
was. I thought
Because at one stage, he probably won't remember this.
I do remember now.
They were worth $600 roughly
Yeah,
at
they
that
were.
time.
They were very expensive.
I
think
bought
the
it off.
Nano
I
was like
convinced him
200.
to sell it to me for $150.
No. Remember how
This
it
was at the end of year
So
12.
he had the latest PC and he had an iPod there for 100.
I convinced him to sell it to me for $150, and I'm not sure if he really wanted to buy something and he needed that $150, and he said yes, I'll sell it to you.
Oh, man.
And remember how before
That's-
off the show we were talking how I also treated him very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Man,
didn't treat me well by selling me a discounted iPod.
It was worth $600.
Yeah, but you
was
did that because you needed the
preloaded.
money for something.
How about this? I know this is games that we're talking about. Do you know I once had a phone?
Yeah.
It was a Nokia 60 something 100. It was the best Nokia that came out before
6600.
smartphones.
Oh no, 3210.
3210.
Yeah.
The best smartphone, that little Nokia, the silver
Yeah.
one. It was worth $600.
Wow.
It was the best phone I had, and then all of a sudden, when the first iPhone came out, I was
It
telling people,
Worthless.
yeah, I was telling people, you have an iPhone.
But wasn't
Look
that
what I have.
wasn't the transition?
That was a transition for me.
No, I think you're talking about a different phone. The 3210 had no color.
No, that silver one, the last.
I know,
of
you're
the
talking
smartphones.
about the-
I know what
The
you're talking about.
platinum, Nokia Platinum or something.
No, it's
Search Nokia Platinum phone. Maybe it'll come up. But I remember I had a Platinum
I think it's
A
called
platinum back.
8800.
8800. That's the
Platinum
one.
8800.
Platinum, yeah, it was a Platinum. I remember
Yeah, it was.
100%.
It was a color screen.
because he used to walk around no matter what phone you had. I have a Platinum.
Yeah, who are you?
I have a Platinum.
They came out in gold too.
I have a
them ones.
Platinum. Literally, oh, listen, I'm not joking.
Yeah,
No matter what you said, even
You
when
had-
the iPhone
you had a
came
Platinum.
out, I have a Platinum.
Man,
What's an
you're-
iPhone?
You remind me, I was a kid. Oh man, I copped so many smacks. I was a kid. My mum, I kept nagging my mum. I want a phone, not kid, but like my teen.
A teen.
I want a phone. I want a phone. I want a phone. She gets me a phone. A week later, I sell it to someone
Oh no!
for like
A week later?
half the price.
Oh no!
My mum goes to me, "Why'd you make me get you a phone if you're gonna sell it?" And she goes, "Why would you sell it for half the
So why
price?"
did you sell it? You wanted the money. You're a kid, yeah, you
I didn't
like
need the money. I figured out that I didn't need the phone either.
Oh no! What about
I had
since,
no one to talk to.
since you're talking about phones? What about going from playing the Snake game on your parents' 3210
I was a champion.
to when the phone turned color?
Yeah.
Obviously, they had different games, and you could make your own ringtone. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Where you could make
yeah.
your own ringtone on the phone, and we had to transfer files through infrared.
Remember that? And you have to.
Do you remember that?
Put
And
the
you had to
phones
connect
next
the
to each other?
phones, and especially at school, if you were trying to send
In the
something
school
before
bus.
you leave in the bus,
Yeah.
you had to keep the phone connected as long as possible before you
Yeah.
leave. Man, that,
Hurry up,
that was-
transfer.
and then we went to Bluetooth.
That was the bomb.
That
Yeah,
was the
Bluetooth.
best.
We can stay 5 meters from each other and still
Oh,
transfer
no.
data.
In
Whoa.
class?
What about hurry, send it through Bluetooth?
But Bluetooth was funny because you'll be in class, and then randomly your phone will vibrate. You look at it, it's like there's a name popping up. It's trying to send you a file. That was the funniest because sometimes you wouldn't know who they are.
I used to spam. I used to put
Not
random
used
names.
to. He would.
Yeah, on the Bluetooth.
on
That did
random
too.
names.
I put like virus 123 or
No,
something.
I'd put like teacher names as well, and I'd send things to students.
This guy, he thought he was so funny. He'd Bluetooth the teacher in class.
Well, I don't remember that.
You don't. There are a lot of things you don't remember.
By the way, it's called the 6300 Classic.
Your phone?
That was the phone I was talking
Show
about.
me.
6300 classic.
This one, that silver one.
No way. That was not the phone. I remember. Your phone was Slide.
No,
the one that you're talking
It
about.
wasn't slide. That was the
That's not a good. That,
that
wasn't a good phone.
That was the N85.
I remember
But
because
the
even
six-
I said that
63
phone's
yeah.
awesome. The
6300.
8800.
Man, I think 6300 was the main phone going around.
Is it a
you.
platinum? Does it have anything platinum?
It comes in different colors. I don't know if
It was a
platinum.
silver small phone that was amazing. It had
Go-
Messenger on it. Remember
Man,
Messenger? MSN
the
Messenger?
6300, I think I had 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
One was a silver platinum one.
Everyone had they got to a stage where they got real cheap and everyone bought them out.
And then you had the Evolve iPhone 3 evolving into the first iPhone 4, which was
What
a big
about
thing.
the first iPhone? Why'd you skip the first
can I say
iPhone?
So the other day I sent Kramer. Did I send you a photo? No, his
I remember.
number.
Yeah, I remember.
Man, I found my original iPhone from when I was 18.
Oh yeah, you sent
The
it.
original iPhone. I had Kramer's number in it. I sent it. I took a photo of it.
That was my first ever number on the contract.
Man, it still boots, and I had it, and it's jailbroken. So-
Wow, remember
yeah,
jailbreak?
man.
Can you
yeah.
jailbreak my phone, please?
We used to lend our phones to our friend, our nerd tech friend, which was probably you, Ayubi.
No, I didn't. Man, I had to lend it to Ramih Maisi.
Are you serious?
You just called him out live.
Yeah, who cares? He was the biggest nerd of them all.
Actually, I do. In our class, Rami was the guy to
Oh, yeah.
give your phone.
He was
to
the
for
movies.
jailbreak.
Remember the games?
He was a pirater.
And then you had to try and explain to your parents why you don't have your phone for that day.
Yeah. Or take your hard drive to Rami so he can load it for the PS4 or PS3. Sorry,
Man. Wow. Did you just
anytime I
take
wanted
me
to-
back?
Rami, where's the movie?
Anytime I wanted to hack a game
You got a Rami.
or download a game hack to not pay for it, go to Rami.
There might be a meme circulating.
It
soon.
was horrible. Man, I remember Rami. He's better listens to this show. I remember Rami when we were young. I used to live next to him. So that's how I met him. You met him through school. He was in your class. I didn't.
I remember those times.
I'd walk to his house, and every time I get to his house, something bad happens with him, or he does some stupid thing, and his dad catches him out, and I look like I'm the guy. So it looks like every time I'm
You're
there,
the instigator.
without fail, until I got to the
can
stage,
vouch for you.
I go to him. I'm not coming over your house anymore. He goes, "What?" I go, "Your dad thinks I'm
Bad
very
influence.
bad."
I'll vouch for you because he messaged me randomly 3 days ago, and he recorded of a time where he was riding a BMX, little
Yeah.
BMX, and singing "Too Fast, Too Furious."
Too fast.
Then he slid out in the driveway and crashed. And then his dad came, and I'm standing, and it looked like
You pushed him.
I pushed him or something, and I suddenly got told off. We had this conversation 3 days ago.
That's hilarious.
Man,
That's hilarious.
The worst one, the absolute worst one. Ever since then, I don't want to go over his house anymore. That was at a later stage.
Man, you're exposing Rami for all
That's
this.
funny. It's all right. He'll be right. So at a later stage, he goes and buy. We've grown up. We've gone
grown
over
up
the
now.
PS PlayStations. We're into cars now. He goes buys a car, a nice car. Then he goes gets like a turbocharged engine for it, an entire engine. Brings the engine home. I don't know how much he's paid for it. A lot of money. And then his dad gets home when he figures out that the engine was seized up. So it's not good.
Oh,
And who's there? Me.
You look like you sold it to him.
Or I've influenced him.
Oh no.
Don't you find that we said that we had to endure the internet being ADSL or first what's that little thing? Dial up,
Yeah.
and then ADSL, then broadband, then it's evolved, and we had to wait so long to download a game,
Yeah,
3 days.
Oh, what about you wait all night? You go, I'll leave it overnight. You wake up in the morning, it's crashed.
Oh no.
At like 80%.
That was the worst updating our PlayStation and thinking, okay, I'll wake up in the morning, it's good, it's ready for the afternoon.
What about when did you guys ever first discover that you can hook up your PlayStation 2 to the LAN connection?
Yeah, of course we did.
the first time I did it, I still remember FIFA 07 or FIFA 08.
Oh no, this guy started with the updates purchasing.
FIFA 08.
Took his parents' credit card.
Yeah. But what I was trying to say is kids today expect things to happen now.
Yeah.
Whereas our generation,
We had to wait.
we were forced to wait.
Yeah.
We were forced to wait 1 week to watch the next TV
That
show.
was the
Can you
normal,
blame
man.
them?
Blame who?
Can you blame? You can't blame this generation.
That's the human nature.
But do you think it's affected attention span?
Yeah, man. Of course.
Do I think
it'll
that what's
affect your
happening in
personality.
technology has affected
The
attention,
attention span of today's kids?
Look, obviously, we don't have a large enough sample size for me to determine that. But based on the people we know, I have younger siblings, so I can't really judge whether or not.
You can't, because it's. I can't say they're. I'd say they're different, not in a bad way or a good way. I can't judge because, again, our parents used to tell us, "Oh, our generation was better," and we thought, "No, our generation is smarter or whatever."
But you know what? I'll have to give it to this generation. Man, are they becoming very smart with technology?
They are. But again, that's a scary thing, man.
But don't forget, they're born into it. So it's normal for a 5-year-old to open an iPad and
No,
navigate
forget
the same
opening
way.
the iPad. Forget that. You have 12-year-olds making apps that are making money.
Yeah, man. You have 16.
These guys are making money while at school.
Yeah.
Whereas us, we only got into the workforce at what, 20?
Man.
I was buying phones and selling them on Gumtree to make money at school.
But I'm talking something different now.
No,
This
as in,
guy's sitting.
These guys are tech savvy enough to make their own thing.
These people are making their apps. They're making videos, YouTube channels. They're doing. It's not hard to make a YouTube video. Don't get me wrong, but to make an app or to make
That's very hard.
anything, or even a program, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and making money off it, even if it's $10 a day.
Yeah.
That's still it's enormous, because that later could turn to 100, then 1,000, then 10,000.
It depends on how I guess smart this kid is in buying and selling. But if they're good at it, man, some children, not children, but 16, 17, 18 years old, they're hacking into websites, into government websites, into database. Man, that takes a lot of
There's a lot of access.
know-how.
Now, what about
WikiLeaks.
what about teens that are
but it takes a lot of know-how for someone to reach that programming level. You have to know what
not
you're
just
doing.
there's so much exposure to social media, marketing, business strategies, that there are teens that are opening successful businesses.
Yeah.
There's what's that 18-year-old that opened up or even less, he's 15. He opened up a shoe business based on shoes that celebrities used to wear. You can search him based on shoes that celebrities used to wear, and now he's rich because of it.
Yeah. There you go.
He started from nothing, or because I can't remember the exact story. I do have to check. But he was just a teen, and this was a while back. He's probably older now, but at the time he was just a teen, and he was younger, and he just literally he became rich just from selling shoes, and that's exposure to what business, technology, and advancements in these sort of aspects of society.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side of the spectrum. What Mustafa Crane was trying to mention before, how now you have more kids being diagnosed with, a short attention span, attention disorders and whatnot.
A lot of them, man.
And a lot of it stems, this is what they're saying, a lot of it stems from the exposure to gaming, technology, addiction to technology. They're unable to stay attentive towards, even their teacher in class for a long period of time.
One of the most heartbreaking things is a lot of them are unable to form bond, like relationships, friendships.
I agree.
Man, we used to be so young. For example, my mum would tell me, if you're going outside to play with your friends, you have to come back in like half an hour max or an hour, and we'll keep milking it. So we'll go for half an hour. Oh, mum, 5 minutes. Ends up being 6 hours you've been outside. But it was so exciting being with your friends, sitting on the side. Man, we sit on the curb on the side of the road.
I'm about to take you back.
But yeah, man, we did so many bad things. But it was that bond that we formed. Once my mum, we milked it so long, my mum forgot about me. She fell asleep.
Wow.
It went from around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She fell asleep, and I'm still outside. We stayed outside till around 12 o'clock at night, just talking and laughing. And there was only 3 of us. 3 young teenagers, 12, 13 years old. we were able to talk and have a bond and a relationship at that age
For hours.
for hours, man. For hours, and we had no. Now you can't get kids to talk to each other for like 6 hours straight. No chance.
Tell me, did any of you have to do this?
Yeah.
You were allowed until the street lights were on.
Yeah, man.
I had to be home before the sunset.
So the street lights.
Yeah, the same. Street lights on off sunset.
But
Usually.
as in sunset,
Yeah.
when the sun first started to set.
Yeah, when
Before it got dark.
that's why the street lights turn on. So
Yeah.
basically, when the street lights are on, you know that you've been out
Yeah.
for way too,
Yeah, but
too long.
don't forget, there's a very important point.
Yeah.
The area that I lived in back then, as a child, I roamed the whole area on my bike, but it was safe.
No, man. No, I disagree. Back then it was, man, my school, we used to have plaques all over the school of children that got stabbed in school. That was around my
but
era.
You know
What
the
area was
difference.
that?
Chester Hill. Man, it wasn't safer. It was, but again, it was that bond that made you feel safe.
But you
with
know
your friends.
the difference is the fact that parents nowadays have more access to their child when they're out of the house. They're just a phone call away.
Yeah.
There's a
Whereas
tracker.
when we were growing up, we weren't given the luxury of having a phone until maybe 11 or 12, 16,
Yeah.
17. Now you have 10 and 11-year-olds holding phones. So when they're out with their friends, you know, in the evening or after school
Yeah.
or on the weekend, their parents call them. You know, they video
Yeah,
call them,
that's
they
right.
WhatsApp them, they
Video call.
Man,
you know, and they're able to check up on their kids, so they don't have this feeling of, oh no, where's my child?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Who are they
'cause
with?
they can know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, you can even track your
Yeah.
your kids. You know, there's a watch.
Yeah.
There's a watch that you can give your little kids, and I really like this watch. You can give them a watch for the younger kids, and you can call them to the watch,
Yeah.
and you can call them and you can check where they are
So locate
during
them.
the day.
That's important.
But they can't call, they can't text. All they can do is check the time and answer your phone call.
That's awesome.
So if, for example, you have a younger child that catches a bus home, or I'm talking about maybe private buses or even a public bus, you can call them straight after school to check up on them, stay on the phone with them until they get home without giving them access to a phone. And
Yeah.
at the same time, there's a GPS.
It's important. There you
in
go.
the- in the
That's
watch.
technology. Man, I just got real nostalgic about hanging out outside of my house. There was main three of us, sometimes four. At that time, there was three of us. We're sitting there. So a few houses down, there was just this patch of grass in the middle of the road, just a patch of grass. So we used to sit there for ages and just talk and laugh and have fun. So we used to, most of the nights on Friday or Saturday, we used to gather and see, oh, you've got $3, you've got $4, you've got $5. And then we'd call Domino's and we'd order a pizza. We'd put our money.
Funny.
But
Yeah, man.
see, that's building social interactions at a very, very young age.
They don't have that anymore, man.
We used to gather the whole neighborhood
Yeah.
and play 10 on 10 cricket, 10 on 10 rugby league,
Yeah.
front yard touch, two-hand touch, backyard rules.
Wow.
Used to practice bowling in the driveway because I was the worst bowler.
That brings back so
How
many
fun
memories.
was that, man?
Okay, I don't know about you, but during
Yeah.
my teens, I lived in a cul-de-sac.
Oh,
That helped. So for
How about-
example,
yeah, I did say.
all my neighbors, all the kids, I'm speaking about the kids, even the adults, we all knew each other and had a social
Yeah.
interaction, whether it was positive or negative, but we still had,
You knew each other,
everyone knew each other. It was like a small community.
and you'd look after each other.
And yeah, that's right. We'd look
Yeah.
after each other, and it was nice because we could come after school and play, football, soccer. We could play cricket. Not that I played cricket, but we could play other games with the neighbors, and it was
Who
very
plays cricket?
social.
No one plays cricket.
I-
man.
No, Graham,
Yeah,
he
a
plays
lot of people
cricket and he
play
loves it.
Do you know what we used to do? We used to go to the park and play soccer. What's it called? Beach soccer on the sand.
Wow.
I just want to take it back
In
one
the
second
park.
about Graham, about cricket. At
Yeah.
school, when we were at school, just because we are reminiscing, he used to be, I'm not going to say the sole advocate,
Of cricket.
but
yeah,
he
yeah.
used to be.
Pole, when there'll be a pole. What sport do you want to play?
He's trying to sell it.
Yeah, if the teacher, our sport teacher, was asking what sport do you want to play for this week or this term, like what's the theme, he would always push cricket.
In summer.
Cricket, cricket, cricket. I'm not joking. And I used to look at him and say, "What's wrong with you? Who wants to play cricket?"
I know.
because
But it was just
that
hilarious.
It's like for a kid, I can't see how a kid would
At that
be so
time,
entertained by such a game.
at that time, you had
Would you?
It was very mature.
at that time you had.
All right, him, whatever. But
No,
generally
no.
speaking,
I'll tell you, at that time they had in Australia the best ever team, according to them, and I was just fascinated by the different skill set. And I used to practice so much in the driveway to learn how to bowl.
you wanted to be.
No,
you wanted
no,
to
no.
go versus some Pakistanis overseas
I'm going to tell you another story
and throwing balls.
about Cream and cricket. So after finally the teacher, after all his
Approved?
advocating and the teacher approved him playing cricket, there was one time I had to upset him at school.
Oh, that was in the older.
Oh, you've
I'm
upset.
talking about school. I'm
No, no,
not
but you're talking about high school, not primary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were only together in primary for 1 year.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that year. Now I know that year that he's talking
Yeah.
about. We used to play park cricket and street cricket. That's why.
A lot.
Yeah, go on.
We got
Yeah.
into it. That's
Which
where I
is-
actually learned how to bat and bowl. Not
Okay.
professionally, but
Yeah, you learned it.
I learned it. Anyway, so he was upset. He was upset from me for something that had happened.
Something
I remembered. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say it
It was important at
on
the time.
the podcast.
No,
You're not gonna tell old wounds or whatever.
No,
they
it's
call
not
it.
an issue.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
We're older. When you're young, you find small things an issue.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
Anyway.
was so angry.
Why,
Anyway.
ate your pizza.
No.
Anyway, I was standing in our courtyard where we were playing was probably on about 50 meters long.
Yeah.
Actually, no, a bit shorter, 35 meters long and about 20 meters wide.
Yeah.
So it was a small field for where we were playing. And I'm standing at the back having a conversation. And he was just upset at me. And he was telling me, watch me get you back. Watch me get you back. He kept saying it to me. And I said, yeah, whatever. And I'm standing at the back. And I see that someone's bowling the ball to him to
Cream.
hit the ball.
Yeah.
And I just turned around. I'm ignoring him. And I
Tell
can
me
see
who
him.
whacks
He's
ya.
looking at me. He's looking at
Did
me.
you get him?
I was at the back, 35 meters away. He hit the ball. I'll never forget this, and hit me right on my shoulder.
And this ball was a tape tennis ball, like with thick
You know how much
tape.
it hurt?
Yeah, of course, man.
It killed.
He was
But
lucky he didn't hit you in the head.
and
You'd
this
have had a
guy,
concussion.
He didn't. You know when you hit it, he went to run. He didn't run.
Oh, he was ready to brawl.
No,
No, not ball.
No, not like that.
I
wasn't
got
upset
you
like that.
because he turned around.
He-
He's like, "What had happened?" He looked me in the eye, 30 meters
I
away.
could not believe
I
he
did
got me.
this.
And he put his hands out in the air, as in, yeah, I got you.
What are
From
you
all
gonna
the
do
way
about
over
it?
here? What are you gonna do about it? And he didn't run. He just stood there, like you know how you run in cricket
Yeah.
from
Point to point.
point to point. He didn't care about running. He just after that he's happy to get out.
That's it. He didn't want to play the game anymore.
But he got me. He got me. I have to admit
I
to that.
remember that. He was wearing
Man,
a
you're
blue
taking me
singlet.
back you're taking me back very far
Hey,
now.
do you know what he was wearing?
Mm.
Back then, cotton on singlets were the thing. You don't remember? Cotton on had first came out.
Bro, I didn't discover cotton until I got married. So I don't know. I
Do
didn't
you
even
remember?
know that's a thing.
Remember those cotton on
Yeah.
singlets?
I used to
We had
enjoy
every
wearing them
single
for sport.
color.
I used to enjoy wearing them for sport because they were so easy to wear,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice. The material was
Remember?
nice, yeah.
Cotton on
I'm trying to
singlets.
research it.
I have a photo till now of us and I'm wearing the black cotton on singlet. It was the thing.
It's just a normal singlet.
Yeah, but for some reason at our age, it was just you wear it in summer.
You know how
You
there's
take off
fads?
your shirt.
Yeah.
There's fads. That was the fad. You wear a singlet under your school shirt.
You know what was
and
the
then you
fad?
take off the singlet and you
Hey.
sorry, you take off the
Shoes.
shirt. You're in a singlet.
Yeah, a presentable singlet.
No, we couldn't do that. We'll get belted at school.
Oh, we
No,
get in
after
trouble.
school.
Yeah,
get
after
in
school.
trouble,
Yeah. What
put
about
your-
when you
put your
pop
shirt
your
back
collar back
Yeah,
in the
we
day?
couldn't do
Or
that either.
pull up your sleeve, roll up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Show the muscles.
I used to do one roll up at one certain time. and
I've got a fad for you, for all the boys out there. Beyblades.
Oh, my God.
That was a
But
fad.
you
know
didn't
they're out
take
now?
me to
They're-
you
they're
didn't take me
back.
to high school.
Primary.
You took me. I will never forget this. I'm going to share. I don't think
punch
I've
on
ever
over
shared this.
Beyblades.
I've never shared this with anyone. But you took me back to year 2.
Oof.
Year 2, Beyblades were a thing.
They were the bomb.
They were in,
Yeah.
and they were that popular that our school at the time had planned a Beyblade competition.
wow.
I'm serious.
And the kids that
And
bring
I-
their own little.
Yeah, no, and they planned a Beyblade competition, serious stuff. And you know, for me in year 2 Beyblade competition, what?
You serious?
I'm gonna win. I'm sure.
Dad, can you buy me the best Beyblade?
Yeah, literally, I had a Beyblade. It was good, but obviously it's been worn.
Wasn't the one with
There
the
was
metal
wear and
spikes
tear.
and
So I was like to my mum, you have to buy me a Beyblade. I'll never forget this. I want to remind her. you have to buy me a Beyblade. I need it by tomorrow. It's like to me, okay. The competition was after lunch.
Where did we get them from? Big W back then?
Anyway, corner
Anyway,
shops, Big
yeah.
W, everywhere. They were
Yeah,
everywhere.
but the
They're
proper ones,
they
I
were like
think
Yu-Gi-Oh
Big
cards.
W. Yeah,
Anyway, so recess came. No one brought me a Beyblade. I was so upset.
Oh.
he was ready to go home
The
and
period,
have a sook.
the period after recess came, no one bought me. But I'm like to myself, why is my mum doing this? She's not getting me a Beyblade. Lunch came. I got called to the office. I'm like, I completely forgot about it. I'm thinking I was already depressed because I thought I can't enter the competition
That's it.
with a good
I
Beyblade.
want to go home and cry.
Listen to this. Listen to the irony. I went to the office. My mum was there. On top of buying me a Beyblade, obviously this is why we love our parents and our mothers. She had bought me like a special lunch.
Of
Look,
course,
I thought-
she's not going to come just
Yeah.
for a toy.
So she brought me a special lunch.
How cute.
And I was so happy. It was a brand new Beyblade. I still remember the color. It was purple.
Nice.
And I was thinking, man, is this a good Beyblade? So anyway, I took my stuff, hugged my mum, kissed her, and ran.
See you
off to
later,
my
Mum.
friends
I've got
to show off my Beyblade during lunch. I swear, look at this irony. I played with the Beyblade. I shot the Beyblade into where we were playing, but this wasn't for the competition with my friends.
Just practice.
And I realized that it's a very good Beyblade,
Yeah.
very good. And it had the metal spike, like you're saying. Right before the competition,
It broke.
no, they brought out a rule: Beyblade can't be have metal spikes.
Because it's dangerous.
I was so upset. I was so devastated. I know it's something small, but I just remember that now. I was so devastated.
Yeah, you would be. You're such a good Beyblade, but you can't use it.
I went through all that depression throughout the day, waiting for that Beyblade.
I had that depression of when my football, which was bought by my uncle, would be kicked over the fence at school into a neighbour's house.
Oh, man, I had one of them. I used to have a favourite football.
Yeah.
My cousin kicked it up so high, it got stuck in a tree.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
talk to him for 2 days.
or my brother getting angry for me, so he grabs the football and kicks it over the fence and walks off.
I can
I want to go high five you.
I can see that happening.
And that back then,
Hey, Graham gets there after a while. Can you imagine living with him?
back then,
You'd want to kick all his balls over the fence.
well, I had, you would, but you'd have to get all of them. I had a bunch of tennis balls, a bunch of soccer balls, a bunch of rugby league balls.
No, I had a few even till
I
now.
had ping pong balls.
At one stage, this guy had a Hilux, yeah?
Yeah.
Cream, Mustafa Cream.
Yeah,
Had a
I remember.
Hilux. You would open the back of his Hilux. People, I remember a specific person asked him, why the Hilux? Like, you're a teacher. At the time, he was a teacher. And so he didn't say to him, but to someone else.
Yeah.
He goes, do you want me to show you
Why?
why the Hilux? Takes us to the back, opens the back,
Full of
and
balls.
it's full of sports equipment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Full of cones, what are they called? The
agility poles.
agility poles, soccer balls,
Soccer
cricket
shoes.
balls, shoes, and even
He
bibs.
loves
You
it.
know the bibs that you wear for sport?
Yeah.
Man, he had everything ready.
Because at that time, which is recently, we would have spontaneous indoor soccer,
So
Oztag.
you'd be ready for whatever the
Yeah,
event
that
was.
year, I played a lot of sport. I went back into it and playing a lot of sport.
Oztag, oh man. And someone forgot that.
Man, I'm the complete
Anything you
opposite.
need, it's all in the
the boot,
highlights.
I can't do sports.
I love sports.
I love bodybuilding, and that's it. I can't any other sport. I can't
I
follow.
You know, I found that out today.
What?
Graham told me. I didn't know you're a bodybuilding lover.
Fanatic
Like I knew you enjoy
for years,
training
man. Yeah.
and bodybuilding, but I didn't know to what extent today. Graham was telling me.
No,
He absolutely loves
I'm the
bodybuilding.
I'm the only one I know in this country. Obviously, there's other people in this country and whatnot. I'm the only one I know that sits there, waits for the competition.
Rami's like that.
and I watch the whole thing,
Rami,
every division,
Wow,
I sit there and my wife goes to me, "Aren't you bored?" I go, "No."
man.
I have to get to the last one. By getting to the last one, I want to watch every division.
So what's the like? What do you enjoy about watching bodybuilding? This is me asking genuinely. I've never asked you. Never heard before from you.
Man, it's such a tricky sport. It's a very, very tricky
Can we
sport.
please have phones
Yeah,
on
sorry,
silent
man.
during the podcast?
My own phone cut me off.
not vibrate, please.
Sorry, man.
Not vibrate, silent.
Can I continue?
Yeah, but make sure it's silent. Not
He
vibrate.
destroyed my Mojo the way we destroyed his
Wow.
last episode.
I didn't destroy his.
It wasn't
Nah.
purposely done.
All right, sorry, man.
So
Why
why
do you-
bodybuilding? Because
Like,
I
why-
love training, but
why
I don't like
bodybuilding?
watching bodybuilding.
Man, I appreciate sports, but I just can't follow them. So I can't say no. Sports needs dedication, but I can't follow. I can't do teams. I don't like that. I can't do sports. I can't watch people kick a ball around for 2 hours. I find that stupid. Not that they're playing stupid. I just find me watching it is stupid.
You know what's funny? I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I used to love team sports.
Put it this way.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like.
All I'm gonna
how
say is
people
when
play
the
together.
Dragons lost the finals, this guy got teary.
No.
Oh, they didn't make it to the finals.
no.
I remember that year.
Why bodybuilding? You know
09.
why, Graham? Because bodybuilding needs so much dedication, such a state of mind that you have to be in every day. You can't skip a meal. If you skip a meal, you lose weight. If you lose weight, you have to catch it up by another. It's so hard. If you miss on the comp day, you have to prep for 12 to 16 weeks. 12 to 16 weeks of extreme torture, man. Extreme torture. People think, oh, that he's prepping. Absolute extreme torture. Then after that, if you miss, man, it's like a bandwagon. For example, you start your dieting, then you hit peak. If you don't hit competition day on that peak, you look like absolute garbage the next day. So, man, it's such a.
And you need a coach.
Yeah, you'd need everything if you want to be pro, obviously. But I'm trying to say why I'm so passionate about this sport is that it's not just someone flexing his muscles. There's so much more to it. And
There's so much things that happened beforehand up to the lead up.
Yeah,
So you appreciate how for the end result of this bodybuilder because you understand what he went through beforehand.
Man, again, to be dieting all year round, to be working out all year round, you have to do all these things all year round and then push yourself and push yourself.
For just a 3-month period for the major lead up.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
And imagine doing all that and then you missing out because you missed that.
You had an extra banana.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I heard that from a bodybuilder once, so I know. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, maybe you didn't know this about me since we're sharing. I love playing sports, yeah?
Yeah.
Football, soccer, look, even sports that I don't really play, even cricket. I enjoy the activity. Or sadly, I'm not as active as I used to be. But I can confidently say I have never, ever watched a full game of any sport ever. And if I ever watched a game and it was a half a game...
Was it because of someone?
No, not even because of someone. It was something like Origin or a final or some big match that everyone's watching. Yeah. And I wouldn't even... You could say I didn't even watch the majority of the show. So even till now, I don't think I've ever watched a single full game of soccer, football, any sport.
Man, once I pissed off a lot of people. I agree with you. I can't do it.
I just never had an interest. This guy over here,
every game,
left, Mustafa Crane.
I remember.
Not just every game. He used to make me feel like I'm doing something wrong.
By not?
Because, what's wrong with you?
But
he makes me feel like something's wrong with me. What's wrong with you?
He's the type that follows stats and
he knows every name of every player.
I'll tell you, when the internet first exploded, year 6, year 7.
The World Wide Web?
Yeah, the World WWW. We used to learn at school. WWW, World Wide Web. That's what it stands for. Anyway, it's irrelevant. I just remembered it now. I'm speaking out loud.
He's home.
I used to love... This is twice now.
Why won't you go home?
It's becoming a meme. It's going to be on our page soon.
Sorry, man.
I'm taking it home right now.
Go take it.
The... what's it called? You got me back for ruining your mojo before.
I did.
Because now I'm finished.
What? The WWW.
Okay, yeah, World Wide Web.
I used to be obsessed. You know, I'd close the door. In my sister's room, the internet was there. I'd close the door. I'd run in. And they'd think I'm getting up to no good.
Yeah.
And they'd storm in. Because back then, to minimize the internet, it'll be quicker. I'd storm in and then they'd think I'm getting up to no good, for example. Then you'd see foxsports.com.au. I'm reading the latest stats. Who got injured?
Ugh.
How many line breaks?
How boring.
You know,
I was obsessed with knowing the stats.
The default load
sport.
page. Yeah. His default load page was the sports page.
Yeah, the sports.
Oh well, that's his homepage.
You know the homepage default load page.
And you know what's funny?
For his computer, his phone, his tablet, everything. Even his iPod.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? That same habit, it's still with me till now. Up until now, the first page I load when I go on is a sports page.
Yeah.
Till now. But the difference I had was back then I used to be so in tune with being... I'm trying to talk and this guy's taking selfies.
He's got to take selfies for the page.
Yeah, but like I can't even talk anymore. I need a pose.
I'm not sure if he's pissed off because he's taking selfies or because he's not part of the selfie.
No, because my mouth's open and he took a snapshot and it's right on the mic.
Not of you.
Yeah.
It's a
'cause no, 'cause
selfie.
he did that. The camera
But
faced me.
that's because I'm trying to get me and Ayubi in the photo.
It's awesome when I decide to talk, take selfies. Do that every week.
But why do you,
I like how he asked me a
but
question
why
and
do you
started
have
taking
to
selfies.
over exaggerate? This is the first time I ever take a photo in any of our 6 podcasts.
I'll tell you why. Because you threw on the
Or 7
you
podcasts.
threw a major question at me.
And I'm actively listening to your question. That's why I
Yeah,
asked
but I
you.
wish there was a video here because I'd see your arm go from side to side, left and right
I'm
for a
trying
good
to because
1 minute.
I'm trying to get Ayubi and myself in the photo.
Yeah. I'm listening. Now Ayubi's got his phone, yeah?
I refuse to have a conversation with you
Now,
anymore.
are you-
That's it.
That's the.
I'm
Wiki
not
video.
having a conversation with you. That's it.
Now
That's it.
I refuse to have a conversation with Mustafa Krayem if he's going to act like a baby.
Oh, he's hung up his head. Bro, we've got another 10 minutes to go. Come on. Don't throw cricket ball at him.
Okay.
No, I hit the cricket ball with the bat. It landed on his arm.
Take it home. So.
I'm not taking nothing home.
He doesn't even know what.
Oh,
I don't even know what I'm talking about now.
Oh, well, turn that off, man.
Oh shit! By the way, I'm looking at Cotton on.
No way.
Yeah, you have to listen to the podcast to know why.
Important note about I even though I was so emotionally invested in watching the game, after many life experiences, I actually separated that attachment of watching the game live. So I actually only look at, for the last 5 years, I just want to know the highlights, the stats, what's happening in the news of sport, and that's it. I don't watch
I'm
anything
going to
live.
take it one step forward, one step further. Ayubi,
Yeah.
have you actually went to any football game or any live game? Have you ever been?
Once in my life, I went to like half a football game.
Once I
Half
said
a game.
that's it. I'm going to watch my first football match live.
I was with him.
What did you think?
I went there. I got to the gate. We purchased our tickets, and then I had an emergency at home. I had to leave. My first ever, and I never went back to watch.
But what was
another
your
game.
impression out of what? Like when you left
You
the
know
game,
what?
what
No,
did
no,
you
no,
get?
I
no,
didn't watch the
no.
game.
He
I
I didn't even walk into the stadium.
He reached the gates.
I purchased my ticket.
And
You know, you purchased the ticket.
yeah, at the little.
And then I had, when I purchased my ticket, I got a phone call, and I had to leave. So
That's
that
it.
was my experience. I seen the gates of this grand stadium, and then after that was it. I didn't
See you
see
later.
inside. Didn't get the feeling. Nothing.
My first football game, I've only been to 3 football games,
Yeah.
and one of them was when the team I used to follow, because I choose not to follow any team. They won the grand final. So
Oh, wow.
the atmosphere was crazy.
You know what? I went to my first game. You
And
know
what-
what I took out of it?
What?
You want to know what I took out of my first game, Halbuni? I went
I
there.
took the phone off you to record you.
I went there for 40 minutes or whatever it is. I didn't do the whole thing. All I took out of the game was this grass is so green.
Oh my god!
I didn't
That's such a Ayubi thing.
I couldn't watch the game. It was so boring.
You know, in next podcast,
Yeah.
I want to discuss your last name.
No,
In the
we're
next
not. We're not.
podcast.
We're not.
We're going to discuss
No.
the history of your last name.
We're not.
Yes, and we're going to discuss the history of your last name.
There's no history for my last name.
Yes, there is. There
There's a-
actually is.
there's a
I asked someone about it.
There's a history behind it.
What's this guy with surnames?
It's interesting.
Well, it's interesting to see how these could
Just
because
because
at
your
times-
surname were Warriors.
If we're bringing up last names, you've got to let me say the story about your grandfather next podcast.
next podcast,
And I didn't hear it from you or your family. I heard it from my father, who does not relate.
Look, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
What was it? 100 years ago, there was no last name. You were just the son of who is the son of who is the son
Maybe a
of.
bit more than 100 years, though.
150 years ago.
I don't know. Whatever.
Because last names are only new. They're
Yeah.
not too old.
I think they became, for example, like today, Mustafa.
Yeah.
Which one of us?
But Mustafa, the son of who is the son of.
Yeah,
was-
but there's a lot of,
you
for
knew
example,
from your
let's
your
say
lineage.
let's say father's name is Muhammad, for example. Mustafa, the son of Muhammad. Nowadays there's like 50 of them. that's all up in your personal space.
I just don't know what to do. How should I react?
That's it, man. I think it's enough video for one day.
I absolutely loved reminiscing today.
100%.
It really, really took me back. I know we rarely do it, but when we do it,
Oh man, you can go on for hours.
I tried to keep at a minimum
Yeah.
because I had so many stories to tell. before we end it, I'm going to share one story.
Yeah.
Bulleye Lookout is
Bulleye
a place
Lookout.
where you overlook, for those
Yeah.
who don't know, you overlook the water. It's a high top mountain view in a
Yeah.
way, and you're overlooking.
Oh, is that on the way to Wollongong?
Yeah.
I know it. Yeah.
My cousin convinced me to run down the whole lookout as a kid, and that taught me a lesson for life. Is not everything people tell you to do, you do when you're young. Let's run down the whole lookout because apparently you reach a beach. Okay, let's do it. We ran down this lookout. It's a mountain, a little track. We ran down. We're sprinting. And on the side of the track is just you fall, a big fall. You fall down the mountain cliff. And it said, do not enter at the start for a reason.
Who are you with?
I won't mention the name.
No, not the name.
A relative.
Relatives or
Yeah, he was about
friends?
4 years older than me.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Were you with someone your age or were you with someone much older?
Older.
That's what I
Four
mean,
years
yeah.
older than me.
Okay.
Then we got to a point where you climb up these little stairs and you turn the corner
Yeah.
to go down and keep walking down the mountain lookout to reach the bottom, which is the beach. And it was so hot.
Okay.
We turned the corner and he turned quick and I turned quicker. When I turned quicker, I slid and I grabbed the tree and I
Yeah.
was hanging off the mountain cliff.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm not joking.
No, but obviously it's safe. You're hanging off
I'm hanging off a little tree,
Like
a
monkey.
branch, like a monkey
like in the movies.
in the movies.
Like Tarzan.
And I look down and I see rocks free falling, like over 6 meter fall. Over.
Wow.
He turned just in time, grabbed me by my shirt, and pulled me back onto the
Onto the ledge. or whatever it is.
back onto the land or the place where you can walk. He stared at me, I stared at him, and he said, "Very." It was a near-death experience. He said,
Wow.
"Let's go back."
Obviously. Definitely that's the first reaction.
You know, I was that
I would have.
terrified. I was young. I was that terrified. When we walked back, I pissed myself without even realizing.
Man, honestly,
I-
it's scary.
Yeah, man.
It's scary. Things like that are scary.
It was something I've never experienced in my life.
What did you tell your parents?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing? You just walk back with
Walk
wet
back
pants.
It wasn't like
In the middle of nowhere, I just rock back
No,
up to my
he's
parents.
saying he must have. It was probably a leak. Like not.
not
I
drenched.
uncontrollably I leaked. That's how scared I was.
Yeah, I get you.
Man,
No, I thought
that's-
you had full wet pants.
No,
rocking up to
not
you.
like I. You're thinking a puddle
Have you
of
ever
water.
told your mum the story?
I don't think I've shared this with many people.
Wow.
Well,
But he
now
literally-
everyone knows.
Imagine dragging me back off the mountain. So I'm
Thousands upon
suspended.
thousands.
Yeah, thousands of listeners. I was suspended in midair, and the cliff was under me. He grabbed me back and pulled me back and said, "Let's go and walk back." Like, yeah.
Man, that's what. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Yeah, man. Not as drastic as that, but yeah. Well, I had the metal beams, the I-beams. A big one, man, like a 2-tonner. Fall off the edge of the wall. So they were trying to mount it on, put it onto a wall and then bolt it to the other I-beams. I was helping them out that day. I don't even work in that field. I was helping them out and the beam slipped off the hoist. And who was under the hoist?
Oh no!
Man, I ran, it literally skimmed past my head by maybe half an inch or something like that.
I was in a place, and we were unloading a container,
Yeah.
helping someone unload a container, and we were moving stock from one side to another.
Yeah.
Now the stock were lengths of a product, yeah.
Yeah.
And these lengths they sit up straight and they sit on an A-frame,
Okay.
like it's like a metal frame, and you can stack things on opposite sides of each other.
Yeah, fair
Now
enough.
this A-frame we didn't know, but it wasn't bolted to the ground.
Oh.
So we're moving things off one side without moving anything off the other side to balance it.
Yeah.
So we're moving after about 2 hours of moving things. Randomly, I just feel the A-frame is getting closer to me on my left side. I'm not thinking, man, that's a bit odd. I look, and this is 6 meters high, by the way. This thing is 6
It's a
meters
proper.
high.
It's a proper.
Yeah, it's a proper
thing.
A-frame, and behind me is a wall.
Oh, so you're
Behind me is a wall, and
You're
it's
between
6
a-
meters high
a wall and a
and
hard
about
place.
20 meters long, and I'm in the middle.
Oh, shoot.
I look up, and I can see the roof above me becoming smaller. I'm not joking. I freaked out. I did not know what was happening, and I had someone with me, and I'm like, we have to run. We ran out. I got out, and the guy's just sitting there. He's stuck inside from shock. He
Wow.
He got stuck at the end from shock. So I pulled my hand in because he ran a little bit to the front, but he got stuck.
Yeah.
Pulled my hand in, grabbed him out, and then it all just fell onto each other.
Oh, man.
I will never forget that.
That sounds horrible.
Never ever will I forget that.
All I will say,
Yeah.
be grateful for what you have.